everyone, Suzanne again, and today we are putting together the Pikler. I have with me today a small Pikler, but the same instructions would happen for the large Pikler. You just have a couple more dowels and screws, but it's the same instructions. So first I wanted to go through the parts. You would have got a few different types of screws. So you should have got some 2-inch screws and some 3-inch screws and pivot bolts, 4 of these. And what fits in the pivot bolt is this Allen key. So you should have also got an Allen key. And you would have got a square piece of sandpaper. And this is just to go over any rough edges. So the wood pieces, they do go through a sanding machine, but sometimes they might miss some spots, or it might still be, there might be some spots that are a little bit rough. And so you can just kind of go over it with a piece of sandpaper and smooth out any pieces. And you want to make sure that all the pieces are smooth enough and before your child gets on the product. You also would have got a drill bit, and this is for pre-drilling any holes. Pre-drilling holes is not necessary, but if you have issues with any of the screws, you can try to pre-drill, and that should help make the screws go in. And then what you need is a square head drill bit, and also have on hand a candle. It could be a tea light candle, or it could be a birthday candle, just to have a little bit of wax. When you're screwing in the screws to the dowels, the dowels are made out of hard wood, and sometimes it can be a little bit hard for the screws to go in to the dowels. And so a trick that we have is you just rub the screw on a piece of wax, and you coat the rings here with wax, and then you're able to screw in, and it just slides right in. So I'm going to start to assemble the Pikler, and maybe go find a candle. So once we start assembling, I can show you how that trick works. Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to mention, if you want to paint your product, now is the time to do it while your pieces, the pieces are apart. If you haven't bought the product yet and you're just watching this video to see how easy it is to put together, we offer a paint service. You can add it to your cart, and there's different options in there. So if you have the product and you're watching this instruction how to put your product together, now would be the time to paint it. It's not required, but if you are using it in like high touch places, and you want to put a clear coat on it, or you want it to match your decor, now would be the time to paint it at home and let all the pieces dry, and then come back and we'll start the assembly instructions next. Okay, so now we're going to dry fit everything, and what I want to show you is where the different pieces go. So you're going to take the 2 dowels that have inserts in them, and you're just going to set them aside for now. So all of these dowels here do not have the inserts in them, or shouldn't have the inserts. So we're going to take the longer leg, and you're going to put it down. You're going to look at it, and you're going to see where there's a space at the bottom. That's the bottom of the leg. So think of it like this. Like this is going to go up. So you're going to put it down like this, and we're just going to dry fit it to make sure that everything kind of fits in. So you're going to start putting the dowels down like this. Okay. So now that the dowels are in, you're going to take the other long leg, and you're going to see this is the space that goes at the bottom, so it matches with the bottom here. And you're going to try to put it on top here and fit them all in. Okay, so that might take a little bit of practice a couple times, but once you get it in, you can see that everything should line up, everything is facing properly, it's going good. Okay, so first we're going to work on this side, and you're going to get the connector piece. When you're looking at it, there's a side that has two larger holes on it. That side is going to go on the shorter leg. So you want the side that has the three smaller holes on it. And that's going to line up here with the three at the top. And you're going to use the 3-inch screws so that it goes through the connector piece and here and the leg piece and through the dowel. So you're going to try to get them aligned. Something that might help and guide the screw is if you can just kind of use your hand, screw it in by hand until a little point comes out. Then you can find where to place it here. And then you can see in to the other holes here. So for this one, you're going to use your square head drill bit. I really recommend using a drill. You can do this by hand, but it will be very hard and very challenging. If you can borrow a drill from a neighbor or a family member, sometimes your local hardware store might have a renting program in place. But so I really recommend using a drill. So you're going to use the Robertson, the square head drill bit. Just make sure everything is aligned, and this gets a little bit challenging, especially when you're on your own. But just to hold everything in place and go ahead and drill in. Start off slow at first. If the dowel starts to spin, you're going to want to hold your one hand to hold the dowel still and use your other hand to drill down. If you think that you're having, if the screw is having a hard time going in, now would be the time to use the candle trick. Okay, so here's the candle trick. I only had a birthday candle on hand, but this will work because all you need to do is coat your screw. You're just going to rub it against the wax here, and you want to get it coated in wax. So once the screw is coated in wax, it should go in a lot easier. Okay, so now that we have the screw that's waxed, it should go in very smoothly. Hold the dowel. There you go. So we are going to do the last 3-inch screw on this side. Okay, so now that we've done the 3-inch screws, next we're going to do the 2-inch screws down this way. Just remember to hold the dowel with one hand and press firmly down on the hand that's drilling. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over as best as you can, and we're going to repeat the same step but on the other side. So as you're leaning it over, kind of get a firm grip under here so that it's easy just to flip over and flip up. There you go. So as a recap, when you're looking at the connector, there are 3 smaller holes and 2 bigger holes. So your 3 smaller holes go on the longer leg. and you're going to use the 3-inch screws. So to get the first one in, I like to use my hand and I screw it in a little bit until a part of it comes out. And then you can align it into the hole. And once that hole is aligned, the other two should be aligned. And if at any time any of the dowels give you a little bit of trouble, try using the candle trick that I just showed you. Okay, now that the 3-inch screws are in, we're going to go ahead with the 2-inch screws down the rest of the leg. Just a reminder, keep your hand on the dowel and press firmly down on the drill. Okay, so that side is done. So we're just going to put this over here for now. Next, you're going to take the short leg now, and you're going to notice that this is the bottom part because there's a little bit more space. So we're going to put that down. And for this part, you're just going to dry fit it. The other thing I wanted to mention now is the dowels that have the inserts, the metal inserts, those are going to go at the top here. So remember, the bottom is where there's a little bit of space. So these two metal inserts are going to go at the top, and these are going to be for the pivot bolts. So just make sure that everything aligns. We're just going to dry fit everything. Okay, so now we're going to bring back this other piece. Move this out of the way. Bring this piece here. Now you're going to use, let's see, how can I show you this? You're going to use your hand to kind of keep everything in place, and you're going to lift it up, and you're going to slide it in under here. So now you're going to take your pivot bolts. That's the one that it looks like this. Looks like this, and it fits the Allen key. And you're going to move it till you have it aligned. And you're just going to use your hand for now, just to kind of get it in place. And we'll go back in with the Allen key after and tighten it. So still making sure the holes fit. Okay, so the two pivot bolts are in on that side. Now, sometimes the dowels will come off like this, but you're just going to go back in and fit them in. And then we're going to start with the 2-inch screws and go all the way down. So just a reminder, we haven't tightened these ones yet. We'll go back in and tighten that with the Allen key. We just want to get these dowels in now. It might also be easier if you start to just screw in with your hand just to keep the dowels in place. So now we're going to go in with the drill and drill down down the 2-inch screws. Now you can take your Allen key and tighten these up. Now you're going to flip the unit over and we're going to put the screws in on this side. So the first thing we have is the pivot bolts. They're going to go in the top holes here to make sure everything is aligned. Okay, so you can just put the pivot bolts in and we'll come back and tighten them with the Allen key. So next we're going to put the 2-inch screws down the rest of the leg. And what I like to do is just kind of put them in place so I can just go quickly with the drill. So now we're going to go ahead and just drill in the rest of the screws down the way. As always, a reminder, put your hand to hold the dowel and use the drill to firmly go down. If at any point you have any issues with the drill, with the screw going in the dowel, use the candle wax trick. Now we're going to use the Allen key and tighten up the pivot bolts. And here you have the small Pikler. So a couple things I wanted to say is sometimes this can be very challenging, especially if you're on your own. So if you have somebody with you that can help, you know, sometimes it can get a little bit frustrating if the dowels don't stay in place. So having somebody with you might be a little bit helpful, but if you're on your own, you can totally do it. Just be patient and take some time. If you have any issues at all with any of the parts or you're missing parts, contact us. You can contact us through our email or through our social media on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll be happy to walk you through and figure out what the issue is. As always, make sure that everything is sanded down to your comfortability. And then in the next video, I will show you how to fold the Pikler. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.